The Poetry Festival Singapore is a registered society dedicated to promoting poetry, English, Chinese, and Tamil. It consists of a passionate team of volunteers, including its executive committee, the individuals you see here tonight, as well as numerous collaborators and partners, such as LaSalle, College of the Arts, the National Library, and the National University of Singapore. Together, PFS work towards showcasing a multilingual, multicultural, and multi-generational presentation of Singapore's poetry expressed through various art forms such as film, dance, music, and the visual arts. Centered around the theme of sojourners, this year's festival offers a variety of multilingual, multicultural, and multi-generational activities for poets and poetry enthusiasts alike. PFS 2023 offers both online and in-person poetry readings, writing workshops, art exhibits, and panel discussions, starting today till August 6. Details of all events can be found on Paytix, as well as our Facebook and Instagram accounts. Follow us at Poetry Festival Singapore if you have not. And if you do post, share photos of our events and don't forget to tag us at #PFS2023. Now, to begin our sojourn in tonight's program, I would like to invite our festival director, Dr. Azhar Ibrahim Alwi, to the stage. Dr. Azhar is a senior lecturer at the Malay Studies Department, National University of Singapore. Dr. Azhar, please.
Thank you, Sadiq. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the opening of Poetry Festival Singapore 2023 with the theme Sojourners. To our guest of honor, Professor Yaakob Ibrahim, many thanks for your kindness to grace this event. To our keynote speaker, Madam Madeline Mosbit, we look forward to listen to your readings and insights. My salutations to co-directors, Mr. Eric Valles, actually our big boss, it's not me, Dr. Tan Chi Lei, Ms. Lata, including Aziza, Shilpa, Michelle, Waikit, and many more. To our beloved friends of poetry, past and present, thanks for your support and participation. Ladies and gentlemen, PFS has been around since 2015, and this group actually inspired, and we have been inspired by Professor Edwin Tambu. Please give Professor Tambu a round of applause. Over the years, thanks to Prof again, we have been growing and our friendship blossoms too. I can even say that PFS can also be dubbed as poetically Friendship of Singapore, because we are able to bring friends from various walks of life, from various literary traditions and circles, all in the name to make poetry and literary culture as part of our cultural ethos. It is not too far-fetched to say that PFS is in fact the only literary group or platform in Singapore that operates within the framework of a multilingual, where Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, and English as our official language being celebrated. We are all volunteers. We come together with the spirit of gotong royong or collective mutual help, because literary substance and imagination, we believe, must be part of our community and nation building. This year, PFS brings to you a total of 23 PFS and MPRC's events, with 14, including 14 SLC's panel discussion that will be held tomorrow. We thank the National Arts Council, the National Library Board, the Arts House Limited, the Bangladesh Center, Ministry of Education's Gifted Education Branch, Landmark Books, Dakota Books, the Indian Women's Association of Singapore, San Rakshant, Arts Meta Singapore, the story behind the smile, the poetry global network, Between the Lines, the Anglo-Chinese School Independent, Professor Edwin Tambu again, Professor Koh Tai An, Dr. Eli Vasid, Mr. Joseph Kwa, Dr. Elizabeth Au Yeong, and our other generous donors. Without their support and encouragement, it may not be possible for us to come together to celebrate and share the wonders of poetry. Ladies and gentlemen, poetry is a window to a bigger literary world, and the latter is one of the pillars of humanity, especially in its finest eloquence and emancipative tone. Poets are aesthetics transmitters in as much as cultural and intellectual brokers of their time. As brilliantly expressed by Vissarion Belinsky, a renowned 19th century Russian literary critic who said, "The poet is first of all man and then a citizen of his land and a son of his times. The spirit of nation and age cannot affect him less than it does others." In other words, the poet must express not the particular or accidental, but the general and the necessary, that lend color and meaning to his whole epoch. Ladies and gentlemen, poetry is, as we know, we celebrate this evening, and I think these coming weeks, there are many more programs being devised, being planned. And it is through this platform of PFS every year that we aim to identify and nurture poets of such caliber, including critics and readers, or those who are in the journey for such endeavor and mission, like sojourners that we encapsulate this year. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Dr. Asa, for setting the stage for this for this event. We are truly honored to have with us today Professor Yaacob Ibrahim. Professor Yaacob is currently a professor of engineer at the Singapore Institute of Technology. Sorry, just give me a sec. Where he's also the advisor to the president of SIT and director of SIT's Community Leadership and Social Innovation Center. Concurrently, he is also a professor in practice at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy and sits on the board of several private companies and unions. Prof. Yaacob was a member of parliament in Singapore from January 1997 till July 2021, where he held several political appointments, including that of a minister in several ministries. So, Prof. Yaacob, please.
Thank you very much. When Azza asked me to do this, I'm not sure whether he's chosen the right person or he's setting me up to fail, right? Because I see in this room so many distinguished speakers and poets, Prof. Koh, Professor Evin Tambu, have known for a long time. I think they are more deserving of this platform than I am, but I will try, okay? Dr. Azza Ibrahim, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I'm indeed very happy to be here this evening with all of you to launch the Poetry Festival Singapore, or PFS 2023. As you have heard, PFS started in 2015. It's multilingual, multicultural, and multi-generational platform for poets and those who appreciate poetry in Singapore. The aim is also to develop the written and spoken word in the island's 4 official languages and to organize events, as you have heard, and activities related to the literary arts. So over the past 7 years, various activities including poetry slams, multimedia exhibitions, workshops, and art installations have been organized by PFS, and this has reached many participants, including many more online. So I think it's a sign of growing interest in local poetry brought about by the efforts of PFS. Poetry, as we all know, has been long regarded as the language of the soul, transcending borders, cultures, and generations. It is an art form that has the ability to ignite emotions, challenge beliefs, and provide solace in times of uncertainty. It's very funny, in this attempt to write the article, I remember the words of Robin Williams in the Dead Poets Society, where he said, "We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for." So it may be from Hollywood, but I think there's a lot of truth in what he has to say about poetry. Poetry also can be a tool for social change. Throughout history, poets have used their words to challenge injustices and authoritarianism, advocate for human rights, and give voice to the vulnerable and those who are marginalized. So the American poet, Ambedkar Gorman, who recited at Biden's inauguration the poem, The Hill We Climb, is beautifully written, and more so when it is recited, about 5 minutes long, worth listening. And in that poem, she spoke of hope for America, and there are many, many beautiful lines, but allow me to cite a few. That even as we grieve, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hope. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. In a similar vein, local poet Suratman Makassar also uses the written word to engage the local Malay Muslim community to reflect on certain issues and challenges facing the community. In one particular poem which I found online entitled, Masih Adakah Melayu di Sini? Are there still Malaysia? And he writes, Nila Utama dan Sri Lanang sudah tenggelam. Satu di Bidadari, satu di Sungai Kalang. Swiss Cottage sudah hilang cottage-nya. Pasir Panjang Mangsil dan Siglap sudah terkubur tanpa nisannya. Anak dan cucu mereka sudah hilang jati dirinya. Itulah nasib pribumi Melayu namanya. In a way, he lamented the loss of physical signposts and heritages of the indigenous population of Malays in Singapore. In a multicultural Singapore, poetry can be a useful platform to unite people from different communities. This can help to foster understanding and appreciation of each other's uniqueness and contributions to Singapore's literary landscape. So I remember an occasion in my former constituency, in my previous life, when we gathered poets from the Chinese, Malay, and Indian communities to do a poetry recital in our 4 official languages. Kapal Singh was there, Saida Buang was there. I can't remember who was the Chinese poet. It was done by the Kalang River, just like about this time in the evening when the sun was setting, and it was to commemorate our National Day. It was a moving occasion and fully appreciated by the diverse multicultural crowd. So while we honor those poets who have established themselves, this platform, I believe, is a great opportunity to also welcome emerging poets from all communities. New talent can certainly learn from those who are more established. Yet, I think we also like to see emerging talent push the boundaries of poetry with new forms and styles. I believe there's indeed space for creative innovation. So let me also acknowledge the efforts of the organizers, volunteers, and donors, and of course NLB for making this event possible. Your efforts have allowed Singaporeans of all ages and all walks of life to enjoy poetry, and not simply as an art form, but as a way to understand each other and to bask in the beauty of words to help to heal, to inspire, and to connect. As we embrace this journey of words and emotions, so let us cherish the unity in diversity and appreciate the power of poetry to bring us all together as one humanity. And here I have to segue to a joke. I Googled Azhar Ibrahim to look for his poems. I've heard him recite many poems, but one caught my eye. As we were walking up the escalator, I showed it to him and he says, "That's not me, that's another Azhar Ibrahim." But I have drafted the speech. You very well listen to what I have to say. So I suppose this poem came out from a moment of reflection. It was in English. I love the words. Thank you, my Lord, and everything you gave. Blessed I am with my blessings, how beautiful your blessings are. Wandering your world I was, how beautiful are your blessings. You made the sky violet, you made the flower indigo, you made the soil brown, and you made the leaves green. You made the color yellow, you made the sunset orange, you made the blood red. Then did I think, if this is so beautiful, how beautiful your heaven will be. I thought it was your work, Laza. Beautifully written. Anyway, I'm not a poet, as you can see, but I value the written word more so as if it inspires you to reflect, to think, and to do. And with that, I will end this short speech with an excerpt of a poem which I learned a long time ago as a school child, in the university, I can't remember, only to discover its power more recently when I look back my own journey in life. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Jakob, for sharing your insights and words of wisdom. Now it's time for a captivating keynote lecture to kick off the series of programs. Our keynote speaker, Ms. Aidli Mosbit, has prepared a special address for this occasion. A bit more on Ms. Aidli. She's a distinguished playwright and theatre practitioner, has worked extensively with local renowned theatre companies such as The Necessary Stage, Theatre Kami, Wild Rice, and Theatre Eka Matra. Her collection of Malay plays titled Cantik earned her the prestigious literary award from the Malay Language Council Singapore in 2017. Currently serving as the senior manager of the arts division at Temasek Poly, Ms. Aidli holds a Master of Education from the University of Adelaide. Let us now sit back and be enthralled by her keynote lecture. Ms. Aidli, please.
Good evening to our guest of honor, Prof. Yaakob Ibrahim. And next to him, we have Prof. Edwin Tambu. Our esteemed guests, our essentials, fellow poets, writers, and artists, allies, friends, and loved ones. Welcome to the Poetry Festival Singapore 2023. My name is Aidli Mosbit, spelled A-I-D-L-I-M-O-S-B-I-T. You can Google me. And I am your keynote speaker for today. Okay, maybe at this point, you will be thinking, why have they asked a theatre director, actress, and playwright to have the honor to speak on this very prestigious stage on this auspicious moment? Why, Entah, I'm not sure myself, but I suspect maybe they asked the other poets or writers, but they are very busy. Friday night, kan? Ayo. So they asked me. Maybe it is also because I am reliable and have no diva attitude whatsoever, okay? And I deliver. Just like Lala move, okay? And I hope I will la 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 all of you and then move you with what I have to say. This year, our theme for the Poetry Festival Singapore 2023 is Sojourners. When I think of the word sojourners, I think of those ancient wise men and women in loose clothing and flowy dresses, packing very little, but armed with books to read and write on. But it is not about how the sojourners look like, because the modern day sojourners may fly business class, work in SG but have offices in London and Siem Reap, studied in Australia and currently teaching in Dubai. And a typical sojourner believes that jauh perjalanan, luas pemandangan, lebih pengetahuan. Wait, I also translate, okay? The further you travel, the more you'll see, and the more you learn. This keynote speech is entitled Life in Writing, an Accidental Destiny. I better go straight to the spoiler, okay? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the movie, let me tell you first, I ended up as a writer. And I believe it was accidental, okay? Before I started writing seriously, I would like to first think of myself as a poet. So let me bring you back. Ding, 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 flashback. My accidental destiny as a writer started as early as 15 years old. when I started dabbling in lyric writing for my Dike Barat group. Okay? Okay, guys, the reason today I'm not using any slides is because I believe in deep fake. Okay? Because we can Photoshop. Correct or not? Okay? Okay, let me show you the picture. Okay? So I brought the photo. Okay? You all know not Dike Barat? Don't know, right? Okay, never mind. Okay, it's okay. Later you can see the picture. Go and yeah, pass around so that, yeah, they can see it. But even if you still don't know after looking at the picture, it's okay. Because after that you can, later lah, after this you can come and talk to me. Okay? All right. Let me give you a quick sample of my Dike Barat lyrics. Imagine 15-year-old child. Okay? Berhati-hati ketika di jalan raya. Do be very careful when you are on the road. That's literally the translation, I just sang, and that's the translation. Do be very careful when you are on the road. Banyak terjadi, hai jiwa, terkorban jiwa. There were many times the loss of lives happened. Not very exciting, yeah. Well, at 15 years old, writing about road safety, I say not bad lah, right? And then post O-levels, I was writing so many Malay poems. You see, I have an entire collection of it, It's in this folder. Got gas some more. You know lah, kids those days, Okay. I will read something from 1990. This folder is 33 years old, guys. Might be older than some of you here, okay? So this is one of my first poems, entitled Iman of Faith. I'll read it in Malay, okay? Aku punya iman. Di saat-saat genting begini, pada pandangan dingin si tukang politik, aku punya iman di saat-saat genting begini, pada perbualan kosong si juru jual maruah bangsa. Aku punya iman, tapi sampai berapa lama? Kulihat pohon besar jadi mangsa, anai-anai kecil pemusnah. Ku dengar seorang raja mengemis minta belas si miskin dan papa. Racun jadi penyelamat umat manusia, mentari harapan pembunuh mutlak. Tapi aku punya iman. Aku punya iman di saat-saat genting begini, pada perbincangan hangat pembekal senjata nuklir. Aku punya iman di saat-saat genting begini, pada peperangan yang meruntuhkan dinding hati. Aku punya iman. Tapi sampai berapa lama? Dated 24th September 1990. I don't know about you, but when I was doing A-levels, I used to subscribe to Newsweek. Remember? I got to know about what was happening around the world through this international weekly magazine. Guys, this was pre-internet days. We didn't have internet, at our fingertips to find out what's happening in some part of this world and that. So there was desert storm in Iraq, ethnic cleansing in Bosnia-Herzegovina. The UN Secretary General was Javier Perez de Cuellar. Remember the guy? So yes, that was a poem I wrote at 17. And then from writing poems, after my A-levels, I moved on to writing plays. My first play was Kosovo. Yeah, and it was written when I was 19 years old. It was later produced by Theatre Kami in 1992. So here's a photo of me and the cast. People might think, I photoshopped myself. But sir, I don't know, I somehow was much simpler looking. I was an ugly duckling lah. I don't know, I glow up lah, only when I got older, okay? So you guys see lah, you get to see the picture. This was from 1992, okay? But I never stopped writing poems. I wrote poems when I was in university. Then I can show you, this one is my acting journal from my acting module. The real thing, guys. This one could be something I can send to the archives. So, I got a distinction for this module. Let me read this poem that encapsulated my entire stage blockings and moments throughout the whole entire play. Okay? It's in a poem. Backstage, stage right. Sitting in the dark, facing the steps leading to Madame Lau's room, waiting for the show to start. Stand by. Count to 6 before coming in. I will survive, always. Dancing, go to the front desk, freeze. Walk across. Get the brush, fix the bun, get the handkerchief, wait, get the luggage. Fat Lucy saw her dad enter the grand old lady, check in, up the stairs. This is the room, the darkness, the blackness. So what? I feel like bad girl. Imagine China in the 1940s, love found, love lost. Path of faith stays forever. Hope and strength. Unpacked luggage, changed slippers, sitting on the steps, listening to Tim and Michelle, to Serene and Hardy. Time to go back into the room. Serene places the shoes into luggage. Serene looking, not serene. Nothing to give but a prayer. A meeting with God cannot put off any longer. A song, a dance. At last, we go to the top. Last tableau. Take a bow. Off stage. That's really the whole entire stage directions of that play called Singapore Stories. Especially when I traveled. I think you all do too. Poetry was my main form of expression. It was a way for me to capture the essence of the moment, being in a strange land. Everywhere I went, trips to different parts of Malaysia. At 21, when I did my Umrah, I wrote in front of the Babu Salam, one of the doors into the Kaaba in Mecca. I wrote sitting by rivers, Nile, Kelvin, Thames, Seine, and Danube. I wrote on Mount Batur in Bali, on Adam's Peak in Sri Lanka, and the Peak in Hong Kong. I wrote when my heart broke in Bilbao, in Langkawi, and Guangzhou. I was a sojourner, and I kept writing. In 1999, I got a job as an entertainment writer with Manja Magazine, MediaCorp Publishing. Remember? Sentiasa Manja. That was a tagline. That's a physical copy for you to look through, okay? For some of you who's never seen it. So being with Manja, that's when I think I became a full-fledged writer. I earned a good salary. Alhamdulillah. After 3.5 years, I had a burnout and quit the job, went back to theatre full-time. I wrote most of my theatre plays during this time. In 2008, I received my Young Artist Award from NAC. I used the funds for the award to publish my own collection of plays. Cantik. Sir, here's a copy for you. For you, yes. The writer and poet in me naturally sojourns into the world of education. And now I'm a senior lecturer now at the Center for Transcultural Studies at Temasek Polytechnic. So very briefly, I have shared with you my story, my life in writing, and accidental destiny. Why? Why do I tell you this story of mine? I just wanted to share with you about the idea of normalizing the writing of poetry. I believe anyone can start to write. Don't get intimidated by the idea. You don't even have to call yourself a poet, just write. Yeah? So I asked my new friend, ChatGPT, how do we normalize the writing of poetry amongst laymen? This is what they said. You mean you all don't have that friend, ChatGPT? Yeah, sometimes nice too. Yes, my very own. Thank you. Normalizing the writing of poetry amongst laymen involves encouraging and making poetry accessible to a wider audience. Here are a few suggestions. This is from ChatGPT, guys. Amazing. Okay, they said workshops and events, organized workshops or poetry workshops, open mic events, or poetry readings in local communities to encourage people to express themselves through poetry. Okay, good. Done already. Okay, congratulations. Done. Online platforms. Utilize social media and online platforms to share poetry and engage with aspiring poets. This allows for a broader reach and more inclusive participation. Yes, so please, TikTok it. Okay, do it. Okay, more can be done. All right. Education. Integrate poetry into school curriculums to expose students to various forms of poetry and help them appreciate its beauty and significance. Minister of Education and MOE, please, okay. Simplify language. Encourage poets to use language that is relatable and understandable to the general public, making poetry more approachable for laymen. Yes, this one, we all can play a part. That's a part for everyone. Okay, this is where, okay, you all, okay, can tell people, no need to be so chim. Okay? Yeah, just use simple language. Collaborative projects. Initiate collaborative poetry projects that involve laymen and experienced poets, fostering a supportive and inclusive environment. Okay, I've done some of these under NAC, but I think can definitely do more. Yeah? Poetry contests. Host poetry contests open to all, regardless of experience, to promote engagement and boost interest in writing poetry. But you see, contests must have prizes. So must find corporate sponsors. So you can do like StarHub Spoken Words or Paragon Poetry Parade. I give ideas ready. So please ask your corporate sponsors. Number 7, embrace diversity. Emphasize the importance of diverse perspectives and experiences in poetry, allowing people from various backgrounds to find their voice. Just now, I think Prof already said, yeah, he actually asked people to go to Kallang River there, perform in all 4 languages. So there you go, okay? It's, yeah, but can still do more. The keyword here is inclusivity, yeah? And finally, celebrate efforts. Recognize and appreciate the efforts of laymen, poets, providing constructive feedback to help them improve. Okay, so those are really good. Thank you, ChatGPT. So by implementing these strategies, we can help normalize the writing of poetry and create a more inclusive and vibrant poetry community among Singaporeans. Before finishing this speech, I just wanted to share a very special something that had happened to me. During COVID, I met the man I love and we got married. COVID wedding, guys! Do you know the law of attraction? My husband is quite a poet too. On our wedding day, his gift to me was a poem that he had written. Dr. Azahar and Aziza, you were there? The poem was okay? Okay, thanks. Yes, they all nodded. Okay. So I will leave you with a final poem. entitled How to Be a Poet by Wendell Berry. Make a place to sit down. Sit down. Be quiet. You must depend upon affection, reading, knowledge, skill, more of each than you have, inspiration, work, growing older, patience, for patience joins time to eternity. Any readers who like your poems doubt their judgment. Breathe with unconditional breath, the unconditioned air. Shun electric wire. Communicate slowly. Live a three-dimensioned life. Stay away from screens. Stay away from anything that obscures the place it is in. There are no unsacred places. There are only sacred places and desecrated places. Accept what comes from silence. Make the best you can of it, of the little words that come out of the silence like prayers. Pray back to the one who prays. Make a poem that does not disturb the silence from which it came. Here are my parting words to you. With words, the writer can sojourn to other worlds, whether outside or within themselves. Thank you, everyone, and have a joyous festival.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aitley Mosbit, for your enlightening keynote speech. Moving forward, we are thrilled to present a special poetry performance by Ilya, Shafiq, and Inra. Prepare to be mesmerized by their exceptional musical talents as they present two captivating songs. The first song is titled Kembara di Tanah Gersang, or Sojourner in the Derelict Land, originally popularized by Al-Jawahir. Followed by another song, Doa, or Prayer, by Aisha, which is based on a poem by the well-known Indonesian poet Khairil Anwar. Their heartfelt lyrics and powerful expressions are guaranteed to make a profound impact on all of us today.
Kembara berjalan bersendirian mencari jalan pulang. Bilakah masanya embunkan menjelma di tanah gersang yang membakar. Alangkah pedihnya nasib kembara di tengah khatulistiwa. Tak siapa yang dapat menghilangkan dahaga, namun tetap ia bertahan. Kami semua senasib denganmu, wahai kembara di tanah gersang, mencari kebahagiaan dalam hidup, menempuh berbagai rintangan yang ada, namun bahagia masih impian. Kau masih berjalan di bawah sinar bulan bintang yang membimbingmu. Suatu hari kau akan bertemu sungai mengalir di taman indah. Nanti di suatu masa kami semua senasib denganmu, wahai kembara di tanah gersang, mencari kebahagiaan dalam hidup, menempuh berbagai rintangan yang ada, namun bahagia masih impian. Tuhanku, dalam termangku ku sebut namamu, biar susah sungguh mengingat kau penuh seluruh. Tuhanku, cahayamu panas suci bagai berdiri di kelam sunyi. Tuhanku, aku hilang bentuk kembara di negeri asing. Tuhanku, semua senasib denganmu, walaupun berada di tanah gersang, mencari kebahagiaan dalam hidup, menempuh berbagai rintangan yang ada, namun bahagia masih impian.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ilya, Shafiq, and Inra for that very heartfelt performance. Maybe I can just give you a summary of what it meant. So the first song is about the determination of a sojourner to pursue on their paths, regardless of what their intentions and destinations are, and in spite of the challenges that lie in their path. The second song was a song that reflects the prayers of a person threading a spiritual path to God. But it also speaks to a more universalistic yearning for hope and light at the end of the tunnel. Even if you might not understand, I hope you felt that, because I sure did. But that's not the end of it. Next, we have a poetry recital by Nur Hikmah, one of the organizing members of the Malay chapter of SPF, Singapore Poetry Festival. She will be reciting a poem titled Lines by Professor Edwin Tambu. Hikmah, please.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us today. Even though it's Friday evening, I'm pretty sure everyone would like to rest after very hard days of work. But I'm very happy to be here, and especially because I will be reading a poem by Professor Edwin Tambu, and in his presence too. So I'm quite anxious, but I will try my best to deliver this poem. The title of this poem is Lines, and it links to our theme for the event, which is Sojourners. And so I'll start. There is a singing road that, gleaming, comes and goes, needing no season, knowing no cause. Without ambition, it draws you in, lengthens and loops, adjusting rhythms to the very speech of light. Moving with a mother's care, this road designs fabulating colors, comfort areas, acquires scenery, keeping in veritas. You take it, unsuspecting, this road. When the day's discourse convolves into squint, unfocused, insomniac fugitively spreads from page to pen, then up to the hand, disturbing the blood's first gift of dreams that leads morning into image, noon into metaphor, and night to a star's bequest, and rising stations of the moon. This road, your road, my road, never the same, ever changing. Day and night has many names, yet none. Its work is pleasure, pleasure work. Neither is ever done along this dreaming road. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hikmah, for that heartfelt recital. Now I would like to invite all the festival directors as well as the ACS independent representatives to join me on stage to present a token of appreciation to our guest of honor, Professor Yaakob Ibrahim, for his support of Poetry Festival Singapore 2023. Professor, please. Once again, we extend our sincere gratitude to Professor Yaakob Ibrahim and Ms. Aitley Mosbit for gracing the opening of Poetry Festival Singapore 2023. Before we conclude, we would like to express our deep appreciation to the National Arts Council for the support of PFS 2023, the National Library Board for venue support of this opening event, as well as all our partners, the Ministry of Education Gifted Education branches, Creative Arts Program and Creative Writing Program, LaSalle College of the Arts, the Arts House, the Bangladesh Center, National Institute of Education, Republic Polytechnic, National Gallery Singapore, Sanrakshan, India Women's Association, and Arts at Meta. Lastly, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all our donors, particularly Emeritus Professor Edwin Tabu. For those who may be interested, right after this event, there will be a panel discussion on literary editing, challenges of craft and business, featuring poet Yo Kai Chai, publishers KG Ng and Goh Ek Keng as panelists, as well as poet academic Desmond FX Con Chi Cheung Ming De as the moderator. With that, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. We hope you have had a pleasant evening filled with inspiration and appreciation for the power of poetry. See you again next year at the 10th edition of Poetry Festival Singapore. Good night.